Okay, the next fix-up, budget repair on the CC-01, I thought was going to be pretty handy for some of y'all that also have a CC-01 and want to kind of keep it stock but make a few improvements. This is definitely a cheap way to go. So what I've done so far, I'm having issues with the shocks. I have already removed the shocks just so I can show you what I'm doing. It's a very quick, easy repair. The only tools you're going to need for this are some scissors. I have the shock oil, a lighter, and I have some 1/2-inch heat shrink. Here's what's going on in the current shocks, and y'all may be experiencing the same problem. You can see I've got the adjuster down just to give a little more tension to the spring and allow the ride height to remain, because it was sagging underneath some of the accessories and some extras that I have within the body. So when it would compress, that adjuster would slip up. No matter how dry I got the body of the shock or how tight I made that adjuster. Now, new shocks are somewhat expensive. If you're like me, it's on a budget, so $25 for a set of shocks is not really going to happen. So what I did, I've taken the shocks apart, right? Totally cleaned the outside of them. And in the process of checking them, I had some air bubbles, so I unscrewed the cap, the shock right in here, and I added some oil, make sure I get the air pockets out of there. Now I've got a good, smooth, clean damper without any pocketing, basically. What I did here, now I've got this broken down, is I take a piece of 1/2-inch heat shrink, right, which is the exact width of the body here of the shock, which is where that slider, the adjuster, keeps slipping. So because I'm doing one-handed with the camera, this is kind of difficult, but essentially you want to run the heat shrink over the end of the shock. Now you can see that heat shrink I cut just to the length, a little bit short of the body, so it's just along the smooth shank part of the body of the shock. Got the heat shrink on there, and obviously I won't do it now because it's difficult, but take the lighter, shrink that heat shrink around there, and that'll tighten up that heat shrink around the body. Now you can put on your adjusters and your spring. The good thing about the heat shrink is it's thin enough that the spring still works freely on the body of the shock, but it allows the adjuster to tighten down, and no more problems. Done the other side and it worked great. So if you got slipping sliders and you don't have a lot of money, just need a little heat shrink and you're on your way. Hope this helps.